Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Another Fat Guy Cooks. I'm your fat guy, Andy Baker, and today we're going to do brisket, but we're going to do it in the oven because not many people have barbecues. It's winter. I'm going to do it with the barbecue because it's way better to smoke it than it is to cook it. But for now, we're going to do it in the oven. Just going to do a simple rub. I'm going to make some blue cheese coleslaw to go with it and make some big fucking cool brisket coleslaw sandwiches. That's going to be tasty. Let's go.
Another fat guy cooks.
Right, so we're back in the new studio. Couldn't be happier about that. Should probably have cleaned up a bit better before we came in. So, brisket. First thing we're going to do is make a rub for it, and we're going to leave it to sit with the rub on for about, I don't know, about 5 or 6 hours, something like that. And that's going to let the rub permeate into the meat, flavour it, and make it all sexy. Okay? Nice rub. Now, the good thing about a rub is you kind of need your base ingredients for it, which is effectively just salt. And then after that, you can kind of put whatever the fuck you want in it. So you just play around, put whatever you think kind of tastes nice. The way a rub works is it only imparts a very small percentage of the actual flavors of the things you're putting onto it. So it doesn't matter if it seems like it's a bit over the top with the spices that you're putting in, because you're not going to get that come all the way through. You might in the absolute crust, but you're not, it's not going to permeate into the meat. So you can go a bit mad, you can put shitloads of spices on, and then when it comes out, you end up with this lovely, crunchy, nice crust on the outside, and then really nice, fragrant, tasty meat in the middle. And because you cook it for like, as long as you want to cook it for, spiderweb, I usually do it for about 5-6 hours in the oven. Then the meat's going to be really juicy and tender, and you're going to have this lovely tasty crust on the outside. Bang that in a sandwich, some nice fresh coleslaw with some blue cheese, mayo, stuff like that, cabbage, etc. We'll figure that out later. Yeah, it makes an absolutely amazing thing to dish out to your friends if you have people around, if you live in a universe where, having friends and going out is a thing. I mean, we don't. But I mean, I'm gonna eat most of it. And I might cry too. But before that, let's work on the rub. As somebody said on the YouTube comments earlier, most expensive bin ever, but for now, not a bad idea. Okay. I got this from the butcher's a couple of days ago. It may not look like the pinkest chunk of meat, but it is still good, still smells fresh, and we're going to slow cook the hell out of it, and it's going to be delicious. So what we're going to do is make a rub. What I like to do, and this is not necessarily the golden rule, you can do it different ways, different percentages, whatever you want to do, but I like to do 50% salt, 50% everything else. So tend to measure my salt out into a pot, and then basically top it up with other shit until it's doubled. And then I've got my dry rub. Easy, right? Okay. Let's zero this guy. Okay. That's exactly 200 grams of salt. So basically I'm gonna keep throwing shit in here that I think is gonna taste nice until it's more than 200 grams of salt. Until it's 400 grams. Right. Garlic granules. White pepper. Quite a bit. Black pepper. Again, quite a bit. Always some cumin. Not that much. Always mustard powder. Always. Quite a bit. Good thing about the mustard powder is that it gets quite gummy when it touches the meat, which helps everything to stick to the meat as well. So always mustard powder. Chili powder, good slog of that. I'm making extra, by the way. I think probably half of this would be enough for this piece of meat, but I'm gonna keep another chunk aside because I'm probably going to do another one of these in a week or so, and can't be asked to do it again. Onion granules, good chunk of those, and don't be afraid to test your spices just to see what sort of flavour you're adding. A lot of people I know will just use spices their entire life and they've never actually just tasted the raw spice. And once you taste it, you can kind of see what you're doing to change the flavour profile, right? I'm going to do some cayenne pepper, a bit more spice, and some smoked paprika. We're going to add some brown sugar to bring it pretty much up to 400. A bit more. There we go. Oops, too much. I'll fuck our ratios up. There we go. Okay, so we now have our mixture, and sometimes better just get it there with your hands because it helps you break up all the big bits. You can also use a whisk or a spice grinder or whatever you want. So this is our rub. And guess what you do with a rub? You fucking rub it. So pick a side, light sprinkle, and then rub it into your meat. And then we're going to go around the whole thing and cover this thing with as much rub as we can. Okay, the way that this brisket's come, it's actually split down the middle quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the areas up. Just throw a little bit of rub in the middle. If yours doesn't do this naturally, don't pull it apart, but might as well take advantage of it. Okay. Gonna let this sit for 5 minutes, come back, give it another rub, and that's basically it. This is then gonna sit for about 5 hours in a bowl or a tub or something, wrapped over. All the lovely rub's gonna soak in and get into the meat and perfume it when it cooks later, and it's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna put this in the oven off camera. I'll put the internal temperature that you're trying to achieve down here. Just can't remember it off the top of my head. I'm gonna Google it in a sec. So this, and we're just gonna cook it as low and slow as we can. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come back just before it's finished, make some coleslaw, and then hopefully it'll all be ready and we can eat the shit out of it, and it'll be delicious, like me. All right, cool. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so it is the next day and our brisket has cooked. It's just cooling off. We'll bring it out in a minute. What we're gonna do next is make our coleslaw for our sandwiches, because just brisket on bread is, well, pretty nice. Not quite, you know, a full fucking meal. You gotta put vegetables in there. If you don't, people get pissed off at you. I don't know. So, first thing we need to do is make our coleslaw sauce, or dressing, or whatever you want to call it. We're gonna do half a cup, which is this guy, of mayonnaise. I got some nice extra olive oil, extra virgin olive oil mayonnaise. Really like this stuff. So your measurements don't need to be crazy exact, but about half a cup of that. We're also going to do half a cup of sour cream. About that much, maybe a little bit less than half a cup. Okay, I'm going to do a quarter of a cup of Greek yogurt. About that. Okay, a good tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. But make sure it's been shaken up first, because this has got a shitload of sediment at the bottom. Stay. Stay. So let's do 1 tablespoon. Another one. This is 2 tablespoons. And then I've got a nice big pack of mature blue Stilton, which we are going to open up and obviously try because it's amazing. Americans, you will call this blue cheese. It is blue cheese, but it is actually Stilton. I'm gonna crumble, stroke, chop this up. Okay. Sharp. Tip of the day, knives sharp. And then we're going to get all of this into here somehow. That'll do. And we're going to mix all of this together. Okay, let's let you have a look at what that looks like. As you can see, all nice and homogeneous. Right, and then we're going to have to throw in some salt. Lovely. And some black pepper. Give that a mix. And then we're going to taste it for seasoning before we add all of our other coleslaw bits. Okay. Red cabbage. Always beautiful in coleslaw. Let's do one more. White cabbage, again, always perfect in a coleslaw. Dice those up. Dice those up. Throw that in. Got this cool little like multi thingy peeler. I think that one. Oop. Oh, there we go. That one seems to make little ribbons, which is kind of what I want. And that should be enough. Just to add a little bit more colour to our slaw. And as always, we've made way too much. Try a bit. Really bright, funky with the blue cheese. That's really fucking good. Next is to toast our bread. We're going to use our crepe maker for that, which was a gift from Mishka Shabali. Thank you, Mishka. Just going to use some sourdough bread. This is actually sun-dried tomato sourdough. So, in here we have our brisket. Where's my thing? There's my thing. Okay. Which looks and smells fucking delicious. So, best way to do this, use the board. Still very hot. Right, let's have a look at this. I'm going to use my Star Wars spatula, which was a gift from Joby, which I fucking love. A lightsaber, look. Okay. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So this is the fat cap. It got separated from the other piece while it was cooking. So we're going to take a few pieces off of that and pop it back in the juices. And then we're going to take some bigger pieces off of the main piece. Cool. So, piece of bread. It's got a couple of nice pieces of the fatty stuff. Then before we do the next layer, we're just going to come over to the juices, get a nice scoop of the juices, and we're just going to layer that over top. Look at that. Beautiful. And then, oh, this is so, I've got some more. It's probably gotten a little bit thinner. There we go. Okay. And then let's get some coleslaw. So, try and tidy this up a little bit. And then pop our lid on top. Give it a cut and see what we got inside. And there we go. Let's have a look at that. There we go. So if I was going to serve this, I would serve it with a side of all the juices like so, so that when you take a bite, you give it a nice dip in first, and then you take the big bite. So, shall we try it? So, oh, look at that. It's fucking beautiful. Oh yeah. So, dip it in the juices, take it out. Holy fucking shit. That is the nicest. God, hang on. I don't want to talk anymore. You just get the most amazing richness from the meat, sharpness from the blue cheese, offset with the vinegar and the mayo, the creaminess. A little bit of spice and crunch from all that coleslaw. Beautiful sourdough bread. This is officially the best thing that I've made on this show so far. Please make this. Send photos. Send them me on Twitter @HighCoddity. I want to see you try this because this is nice and easy. You can do it in a home kitchen. Doesn't make too much mess unless you're a fucking slob like me. But the end result is just perfect. If you like this video, please like, comment, and more importantly, subscribe. I'll see you next time.